Tell us about X7.
Well, I'm so glad you mentioned my new commentator. Very glad to have you around, Shockwave.
Yeah, surprise! You've been voluntold.
Oh man,
That was not part of the arrangement.
it was definitely not part of the arrangement. But hello, it is me. I am FocusSight. Some of you may recognize me already. I already ran Sonic 06. So what's one more bad 15th anniversary 3D platformer, to me? We're running, just to start off before I mention what the run's like and what the game is like. We're running on the X Legacy Collection re-release of the game. This was re-released in 2018 and is available on pretty much all the major platforms today. And the only game that it's genuinely advantageous for the whole way through is X7. X6, 5, 4, they're okay. The SNES games have input lag. X8 removes a bunch of useful bugs, so the only one that benefits from speedrunning in this compilation is X7. Funny that. But no, the game, I would say, it tried. It tried. And I genuinely have fun with X7. It's an interesting enough game as is. And it looks beautiful, actually, when upscaled here to native 1080p, which is quite good. Yeah, we're going to be running on the Japanese release as well. Sorry?
Genuine question. Did the game run... Like, I am shocked watching through runs of this on the Switch version. It runs extremely smoothly. Like, it's not crashing. It's not getting soft-locked all the time.
It never really crashed at all on PS2. It runs better than it did on PS2, from what I remember, because I also ran on PS2 before this was released. Although it didn't have some of the drops it did on Switch. Switch actually has a few drops due to the Switch's power trying to emulate a PS2. Sometimes makes it go. It's like a frog, slowly croaking, and it's just like, great, good job. But no, the game does run pretty smooth.
The strange reason we play on Japanese and not English.
I can explain. The reason why we play in Japanese, this reason is... I actually will get into that as we get into the run, so I can explain it in the run, actually. So,
sure.
Are we ready on time, actually? We're more than happy to just get ready into this, because I'll explain all this as we go along.
Is anyone going to stop me? Do you want to count down, or me?
I'll count down, okay?
Go for it, yo.
3, 2, 1, go. All right, so... this is Mega Man X7, or Rockman X7, so I'll just explain a bit of the plot first before I, explain any tech or anything. So, Mega Man X7, essentially, you have this new character called Axel, coming around. He is, I think, a good boy, but basically, he comes from this division known as Red Alert, who is sort of a vigilante group in the universe of Mega Man X. And Axel is a very special robot who has this copy ability known as A-Trans, trans rights or human rights. But essentially, this ability called A-Trans, which essentially allows him to copy anything of his relative size, very convenient for gameplay purposes, and morph into it, which is a very powerful tool for the people in... I don't even know what the universe technically Mega Man X is in, but that universe, it's very powerful, and potentially a lot of free real estate comes from it. But since Axel is like the prototype of this, a lot of people want Axel for different reasons. And so Axel, seeing Red Alert do some shady stuff like, ooh, I don't know what you're doing, bribery, some sort of criminal thing, I don't like this. Axel decides to escape Red Alert and then tries to escape what Red Alert is bringing him just to stop him from getting away and leaving sort of this mafioso situation, I suppose. And so we get used to this very familiar, highway scene. Very, very familiar. Totally not because it was a 15th anniversary game and they don't like to... It's not like they didn't have any more ideas. X1's great. Why don't we just have X1 again in 3D? But yeah, now we have Zero looking out on and saying, oh, what is happening? What is all this rubble? And so Zero goes in to investigate. Essentially, the two meet, and Zero takes Axel in, and then Axel's like, no, I can help, promise, really, pinky swear. And then Axel, instead of saying, okay, so this potential fugitive, they're like, yeah, okay, you want to help us? Sure, let's just have you help us. And we'll get into more of that in a little bit. There's the first piece of tech that we only see in the intro stage and nowhere else is right here. This is known as the crouch/cancel. For those of you who've seen the PSX games, you might have heard of the dash/cancel. There's something very similar in X7 here in the 2D sections, but instead of it being dashing to cancel your slash and to re-input it, you actually just hit down to crouch. because that's a feature that was put into later X games for some reason. It is literally only used there, which is kind of funny. So combat in X7, it depends upon like where you actually are and what sort of enemies you have as to what methodology is best. For those enemies, I tend to do dash slashes on the ground because their positions are fairly predictable. Although X7, compared to most of the X series, has a lot of RNG, quite a bit, honestly. It is probably the most RNG heavy of the Mega Man X speedruns, and that's because there just aren't a lot of ways to abuse the RNG. There are some, as we'll see. Here's another. This is actually dash slash canceling because there is no way to crouch in 3D. Important distinction. If you ever have crouched in 3D before, never happened. You know, Pixar didn't happen, okay? You need to have proof of your crouching in 3D, otherwise I don't believe it. Not to mention, I actually love the intro music in this game. It's one of my favorites, especially the Bid and Axel section. Anyways, now we have a lovely crushing wall, you know, classic Mega Man X stuff. And we get into their meeting. Fun fact about Axel's voice actress in this game, actually the same voice actress as Pit in the Kid Icarus series. You can hear the similarity quite a bit if you just put them side by side. Meanwhile, in the English release of X7, Zero and Tunyon share a voice actor, which is possibly the most jarring similarity I've ever heard. It doesn't really make much sense. Now we have this little bit of auto-scroller here. Essentially this, I forget what the name of this intro boss is. It's a scorpion. It shoots red. So, you know, it's pertinent to Red Alert. Yeah, essentially, X7 is the first main Series X game to introduce a few different mechanics, namely character swapping, which allows you to select two characters at once. So this is what this mini-boss essentially introduces, saying, hey, you can swap between Zero and Axel. And that's actually going to be pretty important to the speedrun as a whole. This is New Game, not New Game Plus. The game does have a New Game Plus feature, meaning if you save from a completed file, you'll be able to restart a game with everything you have unlocked, except for like the weapons and stuff. So like all the upgrades are unlocked, which means that you get the chipsets and stuff, which makes New Game Plus a bit more, while it's a bit easier, it's also a bit less strategy heavy. And as such, I think it's a bit less enjoyable to run through. So, but both runs are good. Both runs are good, but I just prefer New Game a little bit more. And with that, we have finished the intro stage. So we're just going to have a quick cutscene here that says, oh no, Axel has been put in with Zero, and they're like together, and it's cool, yeah. But with that, that's the intro stage done. And essentially now, Red Alert has brought about 8 different Mavics to basically challenge Axel to bring him back to Red Alert. And they're all across the world, because that's convenient. We have 8 different Mavericks, and so this text is unskippable. This is one of the reasons why we use Japanese. This text is faster on the Japanese release than in the international releases. But since this is just a bit of text pepper, if you have any donations or things you want to mention, you have a few, like 30 seconds here if you'd like.
Let's take a look. Guys, we are raising money for Trans Lifeline. If you want to find the donation link, hit !donate. Your money will go directly to helping trans people get their IDs changed, get passports, get immigration papers, and the like. Help people out. Real change now. $1 is great. Throw it at us.
I agree. $1 is great. Any sort of support is absolutely vital, and I'm really genuinely happy to have been supporting such a wonderful charity, especially during Trans Week of Awareness. So now we have Vanishing Gungaroo. Vanishing Gungaroo is the first boss we do in New Game. This is because Vanishing Gungaroo... There are a few different reasons for this. The first reason is the weapon we get for Axel from Vanishing Gungaroo is really powerful in more ways than one. Both its special attack and the base shot are super, super good. Notice that I've started with Zero. Here, this is not going to stay. Zero has these jump slashes he can do, so I can like jump and then slash after to get a bit more height. That allows me just to skip certain things like that, which is quite nice. You need to defeat all 3 of these enemies here to get this Reploid. So there are a total, if I remember correctly, math. So it's 8. I want to say 16 Reploids per stage. We are only usually interested in 2 for the first few stages. So there are certain Reploids predetermined every single time have what's known as chips. And these allow for tailored upgrades. Once you complete the stage, you can select them, and we'll see what the chip route does later in this run. Now I'm getting into the spider ride armor. This is really important because of, and this is actually something that Tsukimos and I found fairly recently, and it is really useful to manipulate something later in the stage. It makes this boss a piece of cake. So yeah, the spider ride armor is somewhat strange to control. Every time you jump and land, it locks you in place after, which is not the best, but if you dash at the right time, you can avoid having to do that. There we go. That's the special attack for the spider mech. By pressing Y, I can do that, and I can one-shot that that wall there. So if I dash attack into things like this, like I'm doing right now, that's basically attack and then dash. You can do this drill attack, super useful to destroy these mechs around the room. So why did we bring this all the way over here? Well, this is important because there is normally a mech that spawns here. It's in fact the same mech. And we don't want this mech to defeat the boss. The Maverick is actually better defeated by a different type of mech, the blue ride armor, as I just call it, because it's blue and otherwise unremarkable. It's blue. Hey, it's not. That's technically not an invalid way to describe things. It is blue. Yeah, so now we just have to wait to defeat these peeps. There are a total of... Okay, just need to see where the blue ride armor is. There it is. There's the blue. There's a total... I don't know how many in total, but you'll see the screen when it goes down to 5. That was pretty good luck, actually, because I'm seeing my real-time timer, and that's pretty quick. Wow. Okay. So this blue ride armor has this other special attack. If you dash and press special attack, which is Y on like a 360 controller, you do this like ramming shield, and it makes you... doesn't make you fully invincible, but it does a lot of persistent damage. This is the largest exploit we found in Vanishing Gungaroo that makes the boss significantly easier. Previously, we just played as Axel alone after the first phase, and then just rolled around and shot things and hoped it worked. No longer, hopefully. We're gonna go over here to this lovely blue armor, and I'm just going to fight a kangaroo with my shield. You know, normal things. I lived in Australia for 4 years. I can do this. Okay. Okay. So yeah, Gungaroo is quite annoying boss. Okay, I need to be worried about my health. There we go. Okay, so the reason why this is really effective is because you can then just constantly spam this, and also the ride armor itself has a different health bar than you do, so you're not at risk of dying doing this strat. You're definitely not at risk of dying. It's absolutely fine, because you can just constantly go at it. Even if you do lose the ride armor, you just go ahead with the previous one. What this gives us is Explosion and/or Great Grenade Launcher, as it's known. 339 is very good. The IGT is not reliable in this game due to a number of factors, but you can more or less base your in-game time as like a generally useful thing for how you did, but not always. It's a weird thing to explain, but essentially it's like sometimes it's a good indicator, other times it's not. It's not used in the leaderboards for that reason, but 339 in general, pretty great. So now you notice I have Faye and Mitchell, I believe. These two people give me the chips. And there are these little power-up trees, a total of 12 chips per character. So to start off, we're going to go to Axel. And we're going to give Axel up to the 3rd level of speed. So notice we only have 2 at most per stage, so I'm only going to be able to get to the 2nd level. Our goal is to get to the 3rd level of speed for Axel. Annoyingly, after this, it then defaults to no. Fun fact. It defaults to no after all these options. So if you select no, you have to re-equip everything. Which can be a bit frustrating, but you know. So now we're going to go to Rydborski, the next stage, because we don't have Axel's 3rd level of speed, which is Hyper Dash, which essentially makes Axel's movement faster throughout all the other stages. This is the only stage that technically doesn't have like standard movement, because this is a ride chaser stage. So we do Rydborski second so that we don't have to deal with going through a normal stage slowly. And Rydborski is also a fairly easy boss, although it is still very luck dependent. It's saying, oh, make sure you can speed up with A and boost with X. So there are these bombs. We're on a highway and there are bombs. We don't want the bombs to explode, so we're going to just collect them, because that's how you defuse bombs. I'm going to get 19 on the first go, because I want to route in something else. I'm going to leave this one, and I'm going to try to get the other ones as fast as I can. This is slippery and not easy to do. There is a way to do it without stopping, but I am not that brave, so I oftentimes stop to do turns like that. Gonna push myself into here, collect Sam, who's this one, to get some extra weapon. So certain Reploids, not only do they replenish your health in the stage, but they also... Ooh, Tanaka? No! Okay, that's gonna be... Yeah, I'm gonna come back for this one as well. I need that Reploid. That's unfortunate, a bit of a time loss, but yeah, I do need that Reploid. He has one of the chips. As does this one coming up. I'm gonna get the weapon tank right there. Then I'm gonna get this. And then I'm just gonna go back around to collect Tanaka. Tanaka is, as soon as you get near him, he's like, oh, no, I don't want to be collected, and it despawns. And then if you're going slightly too fast, that means he won't be in range when you try to stop. So I'm gonna try to do that again, going much slower, so that Tanaka doesn't, get away from me. Thank you, Tanaka. Yeah, unfortunate time loss there, but nothing I can't recover from. And that's the end of Borski. So yeah, one other thing...
The anxiety looking at.
Yeah, it's... You should feel it. You should feel the controls.
That's what I'm saying.
They didn't improve the controls at all there.
It controls like a buttered 2-speed, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. Fun fact, world record holder for this category plays on keyboard, by the way, so imagine that. Anyways, so notice that there are a few instances where the dialogue there does matter, what character you start in as. This is not one of them, I don't think. But anyways, this is Borski. I'm gonna get hit here a little bit as I shoot him. Oh no, I got punked. Oh no, please stop. Okay. Okay, there we go. So the thing with Borski is, so this grenade launcher is twice as powerful as her base shot. So that means that Axel, instead of getting like weapons, gets new guns with certain special shots. They're the same as X's special shots, but he can't charge them. That's the main difference between X, which we unlock later but never use in any % new game, and Axel, who essentially gets all these different guns, which some of them are new guns, some of them aren't. Some of them are like useful for their special weapons. One of them is this weapon we get from Borski. It is the only weapon that is entirely useless throughout the entire run. This is never used. But that's the main distinction. So there are two. There's a special shot and a normal shot for when you go against, or when you have like a grenade launcher equipped. The special shot is explosion, and it allows you to do multiple hits really quickly, as you saw at the start of Borski. The normal shot is grenade launcher, and it's just more powerful than Axel's regular shot. So when we can use it, we do use it. And with that, we've now equipped. We now gotten Hyper Dash for Axel. And Hyper Dash is useful because it allows us to get some of the Reploids with chips in this next stage, Tornado Tunyon. We don't want to... Without the Hyper Dash here, it might be very difficult to avoid the Reploids dying here. So we get another 2 chips here. We've gotten 4 chips so far. And this is a 7-chip route, I should mention. We're going to get all of Zero's special up. So Axel will become our speedy character, and Zero will become our, essentially like the version of a defensive wall, because you're going to get... Zero, we're trying to get something called triple invincibility, or triple barrier. It is triple invincibility frames, which is... It sounds as broken as it is. It is that broken. They just gave the characters triple invincibility frames as a thing. So New Game Plus abuses those pretty heavily, considering it's triple invincibility frames without flinching either, which is, yeah. You can see how powerful that is. Anyways, this mini-boss, ooh. I like snails, like Gudra, perfect Pokemon, but like this mini-boss, oh. So, This mini boss is one of the one of the most characteristic instances of RNG. I'm just going to try to shoot at it and roll. Rolling slightly increases my speed, but also it means I'm invincible from certain things. Yo! Yes! Okay, getting a 1 cycle there is really hard, and here's why. The boss can sometimes go in for no reason whatsoever, and then you waste 20 seconds that way. And then sometimes, right after you finish that, the boss is like, I don't want to do... I'm going right back in again. I'm a snail, okay? I'm scared. So I'm just going to go up here as 0. Just going to get this one. Keiko is the last one we need of the actual chipped Reploids. I might occasionally collect other Reploids by accident. They're not intentional. I absolutely love bats. If you are a bat, you are valid. But these bats, I don't like them. So yeah, we need to get Keiko and Mika. Those are the 2 ones with chips. And that's pretty good. Yeah, that mini-boss went really well. The thing is, it's almost impossible on the US release to actually get that boss in 1 cycle on New Game. And here's why. We're using the Japanese version because of the faster text. But if I were using the US English version, for some reason the game developers went, okay, America, you know, like they pulled a reverse Mega Man 2. They made everything twice as weak. So everything is only half the power you get on the Japanese and European PAL versions of the game in the US release. So your base shot, half as powerful. Your special shots, half as powerful. Everything's about half as powerful, which makes no sense, but... So the Japanese release is faster, and also the PAL releases are faster, just because everything is about twice as powerful as the US release. So if you had a harder time than what I might be having here on the US release, it's true. The game is harder on the US release. Very arbitrarily so. Like, frustratingly so.
Can you troll someone in localization?
I suppose, but if I ever did run on English, which I sometimes do as an incentive, I did not do it for this marathon. If I ever play on English, I play on the UK English release, because the UK version, which is selectable in X Legacy Collection, you can actually just swap through releases pretty simply on X Legacy Collection. I would just select the UK English release. I would lose 2 minutes from time, but I wouldn't lose time from the lower damage, which, you know, is good. It means I have the same boss strategies I normally would. The US version, though, ooh. Ooh!
Can't have
You don't realize how weak it is until you play it again. And that was a gold. Nice. So next up is Falco. Very glad to have Falco on our team. It's very cool. I always appreciated a good bird, especially Falco Lombardi. This stage is interesting. I would say this stage is probably more interesting on New Game Plus, because there are a few cycle skips you can do in the first section, but there is a lot of plane. I love planes. I don't like these planes. These planes, you can't walk on these planes when they're flying, which is a good recommendation for most people, but not for speedrunners. So if you have stuff you want to mention, feel free at this moment. I'm just going to be chilling here, being Axel, using Hyper Dash to jump around some planes.
Sounds good. Fastest Furs Fall Festival is raising money for Trans Lifeline. Trans Lifeline's hotline is a peer support service run by trans people for trans and questioning callers. Their operators are located all over the US and Canada and are all trans identified. If you are in crisis or just need someone to talk to, please visit translifeline.org/hotline to learn how you can connect. And if you want to donate to keep those services running, which include both the hotline and services to get IDs changed, passports changed, all sorts of legal document assistance, please hit !donate, type that into the chat, and your donation link will pop right up. Take that extra dollar bouncing around your PayPal and give it to Trans Lifeline. I command it.
Yes. You command it. Pepper says it, okay? Everyone, stop what you're doing. Pepper says it's true. I know it's true because Pepper said it was.
I promise the donation link works better than the physics on the planes you're trying to jump on.
Yeah, but anyways, so what we have now is Tornado Tunyon's weapon. Tornado Tunyon's weapon does a lot of multi-hits in like the area it spawns in. It's a super useful weapon. Think of it like how useful Metal Man's weapon is in Mega Man 2. It's like that, and we use it a lot, especially as Zero. Zero's technique, which has the respective sort of tornado move, is super useful in certain bosses. I actually have a slight neat exploit here, which will save me a little bit of time, so I'm just going to try to concentrate as I do it. It involves the physics in this game. So what you didn't see there is I actually dashed against the wall and then like fell off. What happens with that is, which is really kind of interesting, if you fall off as you dash into a wall and then you dash in the air again, while normally when you like air dash like that, you could see like Axel falls like a rock. If you do it like that off of a wall after dashing, jumping into it, and then falling off and dashing in the air, you actually fall with the dash momentum, which allows me to cover larger gaps than I normally could, and allows me to skip all that platforming there. Pretty nice trick, actually. I like that, because it's very subtle, but it's very nice. Anyways, Falco, so I'm going to roll. So the thing about rolling as Axel is he stays invincible, but also targets onto whatever is shooting. I'm then going to switch over to here, use Explosion. So now he's in his stun state. Gonna wait. Oop. That was my fault. Just gonna use Grenade Launcher to finish him off, like that. Eh, not best, but not terrible. Fight could have gone better, but it was overall good. Notice that I also avoided any Reploids. This is one of the stages where we don't need any chips. And so once we get the 7th chip, we're going to try to avoid all Reploids so that we don't get this screen that says Reploids captured or died. So we also don't want Reploids to die. It's really important that we just let them live, but also don't interact with them. It's pretty much any Redditor ever to me. Love you, people on Reddit. But essentially, yeah. So, like, it's really important to avoid having extra downtime on the screens here. It's a slight thing, but it's very poignant. Poignant? Not pertinent. There we go. There's the word. Okay. Now we have one of the hardest stages in the mid-game, I'd argue, which is Soldier Stone Kong. I specifically, I changed my routing here a little bit thanks to someone known as Time Link, a wonderful German runner who also runs X7 and X8, which he actually ran for fastest first at our recent X Series reverse retrospective. So thanks. Shoutouts to Time Link. I do into this 5th, so now Axel has a bit more health. You do get health and weapons for defeating the boss, but only as the character you defeat the bosses as. So, for instance, I defeated that boss as Axel, so Axel gets the weapon and health upgrade from the boss. I'm going to use the tornado here to destroy these rocks really quick. These rocks will stun you if you get hit into them, so I can't just like go through them. In New Game Plus, you could because you have the anti-stun power-up. Gonna switch over to Zero here, literally only to go up this area that I couldn't pass otherwise. Whoop, I did not mean to bring out the bazooka, okay? I did not mean to do that to shoot some bees. That's not how bees work. Well, that's not what bees deserve anyhow, but I'm sorry, bees. There's also monkeys. Ooh, shoutouts to the next few runs. So yeah, I'm trying to... The thing about New Game that makes it really unique from New Game Plus is that I actually really have to make note of my health. And so I have to avoid things. I can't just jump into everything, even though, I'm jumping into everything right now, but that, ignore that. I have a limited amount of health, so I need to use things wisely. Tornado these monkeys so that they don't get in my way. And so it's very important to keep an eye on your health bar here. I don't need to use Axel after this, so I can avoid getting that one, and then I can just go into this area. And then we have someone called this Ancient Pog, and I can't unsee it now, and I don't like it. I don't like someone calling this Ancient Pog, but it's Ancient Pog, I guess. Yeah, so you just use Tornado Tunyon's weapon twice in the opposite direction of the way the Moai heads are spinning, and yeah, like that. And then Soldier Stone Kong Gaming. So yeah, Soldier Stone Kong is probably the easiest boss in the game. This isn't to say that it can't go wrong sometimes, because there is a certain pattern that Stone Kong has that is just terrible. But hopefully we won't hit that. Hopefully we'll just, have all good things. I'm going to immediately switch to Zero once we're done this dialogue here. And then I'm going to dash and press the special attack button. This is the equivalent of Tornado Tunyon's weapon. I was worried he did the bad pattern where he would go up on the back. But yeah, you can see the multiple hits that it does on Stone Kong really, really well. We also have triple invincibility for Zero at this point, which means that Zero can be invulnerable for longer and essentially just like spam those tornadoes to kill the boss really quick. It's useful in a lot of different places, but especially for Stone Kong. And yeah, this is Stone Kong's move. It's Goku Monken, which is essentially just like a rebound, not a rebound. Wow, sub 230. Okay, did not expect that. That's really good. What's the word? It's essentially like a counterattack, but we don't really use it at all that much as Zero. There was a previous strat which used it, but I don't use that strat. So yeah, we only got one chip because this is the final chip we ever need to get in this routing. This gives us Master Saber, which essentially makes the special attacks more powerful as Zero, which includes that tornado move. And that means we can use it against the bosses in the refights really easily. Another gold, wow. This has been a pretty good run overall. Next up we have Anteater, and this is another good... Anteater is one of my favorite stages, but very simple and direct, so if you have any donations or things you want to mention, now is a perfect time.
Well, we have a couple of donations here. One from a tall fuzzball for $7 saying, sending some more because I want to help hit the Super Mario Odyssey bonus game stretch goal. Everybody, we are like $100 away from seeing Super Mario Odyssey any percent. If you want to see a flashy run, 3D Mario games are where it's at. Also, Pepper, keep being epic and good luck FocusSight with the rest of your run. I agree. Then we got a $5 donation from... Got a $5 donation from Pepper Coyote saying, wow, the slap bass in this game is great. More games should feature slap bass in their soundtrack.
Honestly, the soundtrack in X7 is actually one of its high points. A lot of people don't talk about it, but anyways, yeah. Axel can hover. Forgot to mention that. It's not really used that often, but it can be used to do one of the only glitches I know of in this game. So this is a slight cycle skip. I'm just going to go over here really quick, and then I'm going to hover. And that's going to allow me to actually go into this area before it's loaded, which is kind of cool. And that means I can just save a few seconds. It's much easier as Axel than it is any other character, because Axel's hover height is exactly the trigger height. But you can still do it as 0 or X if you just like align yourself at the right time and just jump in and hope you get it. It's much easier as Axel and pretty consistent. Anyways, so this boss, he's an old geezer. That's the whole point of Anteater, and so he speaks about the wise things for like 40 seconds. It's the longest dialogue cutscene in the game. And this mini-boss, I keep on saying mini-boss. This boss, I'm getting ready for the next level already. You'll see why. This boss is, yeah, Anteater can go really good or really bad. We use Tornado Tunion's weapon yet again. And just hope that Anteater doesn't do that. So Anteater's now on the other side of the field. I can't hit him. Only unless I switch weapons like this. And so this is the issue with Anteater. So Anteater, if Anteater goes onto the sides of the cylinder, it's really frustrating to defeat him. Yep, great showing, Anteater, thank you. There we go. Not the easiest thing to get over if you get a bad bit of RNG there, but I don't know why they designed a boss where you can't attack the boss if they're far away enough. It's not fun. It's really not fun when you have a really good run and then suddenly Anteater moment.
It's like that Greek myth where you roll the stone up the hill for the rest of your life, but in a video game. Pretty
much. This weapon's not the worst. This weapon is okay. I'm trying to remember what this weapon even was. Oh, wait, no. Snipe Missile's going to come in handy for Axel later. And we'll see it in the post-Maverick stages. Next up is Splash Warfly, which is probably my favorite design of any of the Mavericks in this game. I love Splash Warfly's design. I don't know how to explain it. I just love Splash Warfly's design so much. Stage is alright. It's fine. It's a stage. It is essentially mini-boss the stage. There are 3 mini-bosses. And if you ever want to go think about, okay, so Red Alert, they have an entire war fleet. Okay, cool. So what sort of, weapons do they employ, to beat all the the Maverick Hunters, you know, to stop them from saving the day. Well, I'll tell you what, the most effective way to fight is to actively undermine your own power, as you'll see right here. We're just going to get ready with Tornado Tunyon's weapon. This is a plane, but it can't fly because it's a plane bolted down to a platform that spins. And that's the fight. It doesn't make sense why they would just put a plane on a platform with wings, but glue it to the platform and then have it spin and just go through a bunch of different things. That seems impractical to me, honestly, but to each their own. I'm gonna try to do a nice little skip here. Nice. Very good. Getting up that platform early. Then we have Dragon Cerberus, basically. Just gonna use Tornado to defeat most of it. Sometimes the Tornado doesn't really register in one of the other parts, and it can be, if it goes one way or the other. And the last mini-boss is the Humanoid Bridge. Bridge is in, like, the central control place of a ship. I'm going to get up Snipe Anteater's weapon, which is Snipe Missile. It's a homing missile, and there's quite a lot of them we can use here. There are a few different approaches to this boss, but I'm going to do this one, mainly because it allows me to use Axel's base shot, which is faster than the shot that I would get with Tornado. Like, Tornado's a really powerful weapon, but it honestly has a terrible special shot. Or it's a good special shot, but not a very good base shot. So what I did there was I actually shot something in the background by using the missile, and then like shooting it by jumping at the right height, and then using the missile on the right once that was done. That allowed me to defeat this boss in 2 cycles rather than 3. I was really scared I wouldn't get that. I'm very happy I got that. It's a hard thing to do, because essentially you just need to like hope you jump at the right height and shoot stray bullets at a single turret. Very cool. Yeah, so this has been quite nice. Again, I want to avoid collecting any of these Reploids, even though they give me health. I don't want them to appear on the completion screen, so I'm just avoiding all of them, which is why I'm jumping pretty low as well. And now we get a Splash Warfly, who, even the Japanese and English voices, like having later, it's one of my favorites as well. I just love the voice. Ageru is like the Japanese voice. I love how both versions just have wonderful voice acting. Okay, so as Axel here, I'm gonna switch to back to Tornado Tunyon's weapon, because that's its weakness. I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna ready Explosion. Then I'm going to switch to Zero. This is actually one of the few RNG manipulations in the game that's definite. So if I stand in this corner and then just let Warfly wail on me, as Zero here, I can just keep on slashing until he's weak enough to be destroyed in one hit like that. And there you go. That's a Splash Warfly. As we end through Splash Warfly here, there is a bit more time for donations, since there's not really much to do on the results screens here. So if you have anything you'd like to say, go right ahead.
Yeah, great job. One more Maverick down. We got a couple of donations. One from Anonymous for $10. Thank you very, very much. We also have one from AKL Trifecta saying, wanted to give one last hurrah this weekend to bring it to 7575. So happy to have met this amazing community, and big congrats on all of the amazing runs during this marathon. We are very close to playing another Mario game, guys. Stick your donations in there and let's make it happen.
Another gold. Wow, okay. I'm not going to say anything because I'm worried. Anyways, this is the most infamous boss in the game, and we do this last. Even in Japanese, this boss is something. Also, I'm sorry, Empor in the chat, I'm sorry. I misheard the Japanese as ageru, which is actually to go up, not actually to go back. Whoops. Anyways, Flame Hyanard. So this stage is all about avoiding damage with the first part as Axel. There's a lot of stuff here. There's bombs, there's enemies, there's Robin. Let's go. The best Smash character. Not really. So basically the stage is a lot of damage consideration as Axel, and then switching to Zero at the right time. So it's just a lot of concentrated jumping. You can see how the roll allows me to have invincibility frames right there. I just faced that enemy, no hits. Oh, I'm gonna be careful. Oh, okay, I wasn't careful. Oh well. I'm just gonna go through here then really quick. Switch to 0 now. So I can use the triple invincibility to bypass these Dragon Boys. Since they are very, very, very... they knock you back, and if you jump into them, they will kill you. Okay, I want to avoid Jim. All my homies hate Jim! Oh! That's what I'm saying. So that's what those dragons do. And if you are over lava, that would be the entire first section over again. That was close. That was very close. But anyways, we get to use A-Trans now. Finally, the only time it's ever used. So Copy Shot is a unique ability. Copy Shot is like the base special weapon is Axel. However, you only can get like these copy things if you actually use it as your final shot against an enemy, which makes it kind of impractical to use, to be honest. Because when are you ever going to time the amount of hits that it's going to take until you use the special shot? It's 3 there. So if I accidentally killed the enemy, I'm going to have to die and restart again. If I shot the copy shot at the second time, I would need to wait for another copy shot to actually get the thing. But that allows us to transform into that floaty boy. The floaty boy can then hover all the way over past this really difficult section, and then we can do air dashes in the air to just go to the end. Okay, so now what's better to use against fire than water? Sound warning. Even in Japanese. Oh, wrong weapon. Okay. Here we go, water. Okay, that was a bit sloppy, but... Anyways, here we are. The best way to then go is just to wail on Flame Hionard with the Tornado. Just gonna wait for the next cycle. Yeah, this was slow, but it's fine. And that's Flame Hionard. So yeah, we disabled the legs using the water, because the Flash Warfly's weapon is pretty strong, and so we can use it against the water there, or we use the water against the leg, and that make Leggy stop. Leggy don't move anymore because water. My legs could use some water right now. As in, I need a shower probably after this. Anyways, that's the end of the main Mavericks. Pretty tight. 8 Mavericks here, actually. Also, one thing I wanted to mention, I've been taking hits earlier in the game and in other stages. This is to avoid the rank up animation on the results screens. You can see how they're like D, A. That's like a ranking system that's based upon your time. It's based upon a few factors. It's based upon the time you get, like, when you finish the stage, the amount of enemies you defeated, and, like, the amount of damage you've taken. So taking damage is the best way to avoid a rank up. Anyways, really quickly, hi X, nice to see you, really cool. This is a Mega Man X game. Bye X. That's the last time we'll see him. Well, no, there'll be one other time. No, like 2 or 3, but we don't play as X ever. And now starts the, this is the 4-minute auto-scroller in the middle of the thing. The good news is, music is great. The bad news is, it's a 4-minute auto-scroller. So this is obvious the time, Pepper. Do your thing. You've been a wonderful host so far, and I can't wait to see if there's been any more donations, or, people, hopefully get to the Mario Odyssey bonus game. That'll be a wonderful.
Again, if you guys want to contribute to the number in the bottom right of your screen, hit ! donate in the chat, and a link will magically appear for you. Click there and throw whatever PayPal dollars you have towards our charity, which is Trans Lifeline. We have one donation from Nielsen for $5, which says, "Burn to the ground, burn to the ground, burn to the ground," several times in a row.
We love it. We love it. The funny thing is, you missed the text there in the interaction with Axel. Axel says, "Here's your medicine," and then points a gun at Hionard, and I'm like, really, what? Why would you do this? It's the same thing in English. It's like, "Here's your cure." I'm like, Jesus, Axel, okay? Jesus, we know you're kind of like, so like, the way I like to say Axel's sort of like the Silver of this franchise, because Axel came in a very poorly received game, which was a 3D title, but he had a lot of potential. He still does. I love Axel, actually. And they just sort of, because of the bad reputation of the first game, it sort of went, but
Mega Man games, like Sonic games, I have just picked up through osmosis many things, such as the fact that
Yeah.
you do not play as Mega Man in half of the Mega Man games anymore.
Yeah, it's kind of funny, isn't it?
Oh no, his name is
And-
X anyway, and you're like, what?
His name is Mega Man X, but it's still Mega Man
Yeah.
in this. But you do play as him in New Game Plus, so don't worry. There is X in this X game, we promise.
I mean,
So this is
anyone
the
who
parts
thinks
where I need to kind of not concentrate, but this is the parts I don't want to mess up because these gaps. You see their gaps. Also, this weapon, I haven't mentioned it. This is Stone Kong's weapon, and I was only told by a friend of mine that this actually has a use here to destroy these barricades. It's the only time that's useful, but it has a use, unlike some weapons. Cough, cough, cough. What's it? Borski's weapon. It's just a wheel. Fun. It was invented by humanity like 3,000 years ago, dude. I'm pretty sure in the futuristic world where they put furries with robots, they probably have invented something better than the wheel.
Best machine wheel.
But yeah, this
Followed by
music is.
pulley, maybe lever.
I'm glad this music's good, to say the least. Because if this music was bad, it would be less tolerable. But yeah, this is a bit of a safer part now because the third pit, the third major pit is the one that scares me because sometimes if you get hit while hovering, you fall like a rock, and so that means death usually. But we got through
Fall
it,
like a
so
rock, man.
hopefully this means we're good. Oh, don't make that pun ever again.
You're welcome.
I just invite puns to come to me. I don't want them, but they just arrive. So I'm gonna go over here, get this one up, and also get the health up. So the healths, these things in the game actually give us both. They what's the word? I can't think because auto scroller. They refill both my. I had actually gotten a sub tank and a weapon tank, so I actually have them both replenished because of this section here. So both my health sub tank and my weapon sub tank are both fully replenished at this point. And so we just use 2 explosions and the boss is over. Yep, that's the stage. Entertaining, right? Hey, auto scroller.
I'm just sitting here thinking the Mega Man X1 theme.
There weren't many. Actually, there was a very similar one to that in X1. A very similar enemy in Armored
Yeah, that's what I'm
Armadillo.
saying.
It is also that easy in the US version, by the way. The explosion is one of the moves that is pretty much the exact same powerful because it repeats still. So explosion is still useful. The special weapon. Grenade launcher, not as much. Anyways, this is the final stage. It's a long one, though. So we're going to start off with this section here. This actually shows the usefulness of triple invincibility outside of just, hey, haha, I get invincibility frames. You can abuse them here to then do the slash jumps I mentioned earlier to get slightly more height there and do some cool movement. So I can just go through these. These things are indestructible, by the way, which is kind of weird because they have a target, which means you can shoot at it, but it does nothing. So I can just use the invincibility there to just phase right through them. I'm also going to just try to jump. I didn't do it. I can break through some of these these automated walking areas sometimes. If I do okay, as we say in the trade, we say if we do okay. Essentially, if you slash jump into those areas, you're able to go a bit further than you normally would. And if you land right on the green thing, it's the fastest way to complete that automated area. We had some other cutscene manipulations earlier, but I didn't actually mention them since they're kind of self-explanatory. Anyways, we're gonna fight Red, who is the head of Red Alert, and he has a professor, or a sensei, as they say in Japan, and so it's just like, ooh, who's this person? Totally not someone we always know every single game. So we're going to use, yet again, Tornado Tunyon's weapon against Red. Red is fun, because Red is another instance of huge RNG. So for the first half of his health bar, he's going to respawn within this 3x3 grid. After that, he's going to respawn in within any of the platforms that you're on. Although we got good RNG here. So now at this point, he's going to appear slightly beforehand, but he can also appear at the starting platform that you were on. And he's appearing there. I'm not going to go and attack him. I don't think, at least. So that's what I'm saying when it can be really annoying to fight Red. I'm going to go ahead and use my... energy to make sure I don't die. And so we're just going to wait to try to get red in another good position, please. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Okay, one more. Where are you? There you are. And that should be on the end of red. Not the worst luck. Pretty decent. Pretty decent. And so that's the end of red, and now we're getting on to approaching the boss rush. So now we're approaching the end game pretty soon here. So I'm going to get this weapon, this health upgrade, so I can refill the energy tank. And I'm going to exit. So this is a split path here. There are two different paths. You can go right or left. We're going to go right because this is literally one room, and then you get to the doggo room, as we call it. There's the pupper room. There's like 3 big dogs, and that's the part where these two ends meet up again. I'm going to switch to Axel, and we're actually going to use the weapon in a way we haven't done so before. So Snipe Missile homes in on enemies. It does that. If you didn't notice, it actually tracks with even the enemies turning, which allows me to actually get multiple hits on enemies like this. I am now not figuring out how to do this, but I'll get into the groove of it again. I'm just going to... So... The reason why this is so useful is because when these enemies turn often, and so you can just use the Snipe Missile on them. I am not doing this. There we go. So something like that is how it's supposed to look. But unfortunately, I didn't really do that properly. Still fast, though, but I don't know. I was just rolling around shooting, hoping something worked. Essentially, if I walk, there's like a slight pattern where I can walk between the two and then shoot a missile, and then it turns, and then it gets multiple hits, and then I can do it over and over again. Didn't go quite as planned, but anyways, dogs. Very nice room. Sound of breaking glass, also pretty cool. I don't know why that was there. That's a room. That is very much a room. And so now we come to this area. This area, there's more doggos. I need to avoid getting too much damage, because I basically just dash through here, because we can just use the invincibility frames we have. I'm going to replenish my health now, just to be safe. So yeah, we can just sort of dash through that section pretty consistently. Just going to jump through here, then I'm going to hover here, and hit the smelly head, and dash through here. Not bad. So now we're approaching the boss rush here, and so we can use a few different things in this boss rush because of the upgraded weapons and the weapon tank. The weapon sub-tank is super useful because it gives us 4 explosions. Count them, 4. That's a lot of explosion. So we can we're going to start with Borsky. That's the first boss we do in the boss refights. So I'm just going to go ahead and dash into Borsky and use Explosion once. Then I'm going to menu, use the weapon sub-tank, and then I have more explosions. Although I kind of squandered them, but that's fine, because I still have grenade launcher here, which is a useful, regular weapon. Okay, will you stop? Will you stop? Will you stop? There we go. Yeah, I kind of shouldn't have shot the explosions too early, but yeah, explosion's super useful. It essentially just does multiple hits really, really, really quick, and it's also powerful because it is literally an explosion. This refight is pretty similar to before, so if you have any donations to read, you can do so.
We are coming down to the end of the wire here for my hosting shift. And goodness, I do like to brag about things. So by all means, if you've been waiting to send in your donations, now is the time. Stellario sent us $5, and they said, Super Fighting Robot, Mega Man.
Very good.
We are only $95 away from unlocking our final bonus game, which is Super Mario Odyssey Any Percent. That run is really fun to watch, so please, $95, exclamation point, donate. Give us even $1 towards that, and you'll be doing a great thing.
Yeah, we have Falco again, sorry. Falco is not being mean. I mean, being mean to me. Not being mean. Being mean. Those are two mutually exclusive things. Yeah, that was okay. I'm going to get the health here as Axel, just to be safe. The way I'm routing this, or the way Tsukimo's really routed this, is to try to avoid picking up the health replenishments as much as possible. But I want to be safe since it's a marathon. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to switch back to water, and we're going to have... Or if that's tornado, that's not water. And we're going to fight Hyanard again. So all the bosses in the refights are slightly more powerful. They have a bit more health, or a significant amount more health, I should say, not just a bit. So I'm going to over here is Axel. We're only going to see Axel one more time, really. So, well, for the refights, I should say. We're still going to see Axel in the final boss. Since Phase 2 is, well, random, it uses Axel the entire time. So now I'm going to wait on this. I don't even know what this is. Is this like a goat? Is this a deer? Is this... like, what is this? Can someone explain? So you can just use Tornado Titan's. Seriously, Tornado Titan's weapon is a blessing to have in this run. It makes a lot of the bosses a, done in a pinch. Also, I'm just going to say this right now because I want to curse the run. I'm very much looking on PB pace for about a minute if everything stays the same. And I'll hit the goal that I was going to set after this, which was to get a sub-hour. So if everything goes as well as Gold does, we're going to have a sub-hour run here. But I shouldn't have said that now. I'm almost certain I shouldn't have said that.
I believe this structure puts Mega Man 7 in the X7 in the same universe as Breath of the Wild. This may be one of the legendary beasts, perhaps?
This is true. Every single game is related to Breath of the Wild in some aspect. Although I will say this, Sonic 06 is not Breath of the Wild before its time. Breath of the Wild is 06 post its time. There you go. I'm just going to say that right now. 06 did object stuff first, people. So we're actually, the funniest thing is, so Pepper, I've mentioned how Tunion's weapon is like really, really useful, right?
Oh, it's the OP.
We're going to use Tunion's weapon against Tunion.
You had to do it to him. You
so
fool!
The
you
multiple hits.
Strongest power.
And just like that, it's the best way to defeat Tunyon because it also avoids the what's it called? The desperation animation that we'd normally have, which is what I actually did with Axel as well. If he has a desperation like mode if you get like to the last sliver of health, at the last third or something, and so we avoid it by doing that. I'm gonna go over to Splash Warfly now, and this is the last time we'll see Axel in the boss rush at least.
Bye, Axel.
This leaves two more Mavericks after this one, which are arguably the most RNG based, but should be fun at least. So just gonna use the weakness, switch to Axel with explosion, and use 4 explosions against. Oh, not a good start. This is not what I wanted. Okay, Axel. Yeah, okay. That's fine, though. I can just slash him. It's not significant time loss, anyhow. Just waiting to see... that's what... When that happens, that's sad. That's sad when you're, like, one hit away from technically having defeated it, but... And then he goes back as the weakness, but... The tornado doesn't destroy really strong relationships, like the bond between... me and my boyfriend. I didn't have anyone else to put there because I was like, I shouldn't say anyone's name because I don't know people. Yeah, I don't know my boyfriend's name either because I just called him my boyfriend.
I'm the same way.
If there are donations as well, feel free to say them during these last 2 fights, or this fight at least.
Ooh, we got... Ooh, I want to say Kazin giving us a $20 donation with no comment just a minute ago. Thank you very much, Kazin. Oh, we are so close to this last bonus run. I can almost taste it. $80 more or so, and we will be adding an entire another run to this, which would be Super Mario Odyssey, any percent. Get them in, y'all.
And so that's how you want Anteater to go, more or less. Anteater is still random, though, which is... In fact, the final 3 bosses we're going to have to fight throughout all this, which includes Sigma, are pretty much all random. And so we might get punched a lot, and we don't want to get punched. But I'm going to try to do the RNG manip here. It is an RNG manip, but it's still based upon if you can get a really fast cycle for the first phase. We don't actually have the blue ride armor here anymore, so we're just going to have to use it, go alone as 0. So I'm just going to go forward. I'm going to use Tornado Tunion's weapon, of course. Just going to... Oh, that's not the cycle I want. Okay, I might be able to make this work. I need to stand a certain distance away and then, like, spin slash into him. kind of worked. I'm just gonna... Oh, that actually did work. That's actually the exploit. Kind of. It's better than nothing. Although that's not what I actually wanted, to be honest. So I'm just gonna use this. I'm gonna try it again. Apparently you can set it up after this, but that is not it. So I'm just gonna use Tornado Tanyan's weapon, hoping that he gets near me. Just gonna wait for him to hit. Yeah, and then now I'm triple invincibility, so he should come near me sometimes, and then I should hopefully be able to. Or he's just gonna be. This is Gungaroo at his prime. There we go. At least he's done. Very much so the most annoying of the refights, because you just don't have really any recourse, you know. Anyways, we are approaching the end of the run, more or less. I'm just gonna get the weapon. And this is the final area. This is Sigma fight. We are very much in PvE potential here, so let's hope we get good luck as Sigma. Hi X again, nice to have you. Always been nice to have you around, X. Oh no, it's Sigma! Who would have thought? Pepper, I can't believe this. I want my money back.
But will you beat his second form, Ligma?
Yes, because that's basically what we should call it. We call it Big Sigma, or Big Sig.
L, large,
To be honest,
large
it's just
Sigma,
really
Ligma.
large Ligma if you wanted, but that sounds terrible, and I don't want that. It sounds like a chronic disease. I don't want that. Anyways, we're here as Zero. My health has been replenished. Good. I'm gonna go over here. Tanyan. This is the random aspect, though. Sigma can just stop and go into the background or do stuff. So hopefully we just get him shooting in place for the rest of the fight here, the first phase. Also, get ready on time soon. Not this fight, but the next one's gonna be the time. And he's gonna go in the background. Okay. Can I please have a shoot? Can I please not go in the background again? Okay, thank you. There we go. So we have one more phase after this. Once the health bar is done here, that's time. So we just have phase 2. Sigma phase 2 is again pretty random. There are 2 safe spots that we call them, although I really only know one, to be honest, where you don't get damaged by most things. I won't get damaged by most attacks starting from here. I'm gonna go to grenade launcher. I'm just gonna shoot at him from here, starting it off. So we're gonna get laser. Okay, gonna hover, shoot, 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 hover. Okay, and now I'm gonna go in the second safe spot, which is over here. This will prevent me. Oh. I'm just gonna play it safe and re-heal. Okay, so I'm gonna stand in this safe spot. Should prevent me from getting hit by anything. Like, no attacks can damage me here if I stay here. But I also need to shoot at him. We're going up on time soon. Oh, please, please, Sigma. Okay. Time. That is a PB.
I'm
by about 30
watching
seconds.
behind you. I'm waiting for the clock to start mine. What's the time?
1:00:48, which is a PB by 30 seconds for me.
Ah! I didn't want to say anything to jinx it, but
I know,
guys,
neither did I.
leave-
That was a pretty bad Sigma pattern anyhow, so I'm happy.
Am I wrong in saying that is now the 3rd best run of this type that has ever happened?
Yes, 3rd place.
You have all witnessed the new 3rd place, like 3rd world record.
Also, I like cutting that ending cutscene off there with Axel being punched. It's funny. Anyways, that's Mega Man X7. Yeah.
I can tell you how extremely into this run I have become over the last week. I've just been watching it recreational. Like, this game is great, actually.
It's fun. New Game Plus. If I recommend people getting into it, the X Legacy Collection is $20. It's cheap, and I mean, if you want it just to run X7, it's great. And you also get to play the other games. Although I don't recommend playing X6, which is my least favorite X game. Play X8, although this version, don't know if you want to play it for speedrunning, but play X8. X8's my favorite X game, other than Extreme 2. Yeah, this game, I think X7 is a pretty good run overall. It's definitely a lot better than I think people make it out to be. And I have had a lot of fun learning X7 and running X7. In fact, I didn't actually learn this category until like 6 months ago when I was asked to do it for the GDQ hotfix Mega Man X relay. And I was just like, oh, you need someone to run any percent new game. I don't run any percent new game. And so I've just slowly gotten better and better. I'm finally glad. Third showing, I've gotten PBs before my events and then not gotten a PB in the event. So finally it worked.
Next one's gonna be sub-hour, man. I know it. It's gotta come on.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I actually want to see my... Oh, actually, we can check the in-game time as well if I save.
Oh, nice.
So
For
let's just
reference,
quickly check
everybody who's
that.
not looking at it, the current world record is 58 minutes, 13 seconds. So they're less than 2 minutes away right now.
Yeah, 45.50. Pretty good time overall for IGT. Although IGT is just really unreliable because, for instance, a person who has like 101.30 has a lower IGT than me. Because the game is weird. The game is weird with IGT. If you pause, it counts towards your IGT. If you're on the menu, it doesn't. Like the select screen doesn't count. If you're on like other things, it's weird. The IGT doesn't make sense in this game, and so we don't include it as part of it so we just base off of RTA. So yeah, that's a new PB for me. I am surprised. And the new summer best of about 20 seconds. So.
What would you say to somebody who wants to start running X7, either where to get started or something you wish you knew when you started?
Well, I'm glad that this version exists, because trust me, the load screens are improved in this version as well. But I would recommend joining the X series Discord if you just go to any X game on like speedrun.com. The Discord generally links to the X speedrunning server. I can also link it in the chat after my run. I'm more than willing to help teach people X7, but also there are a few guides made by Sukimos, made by myself, and also some guides made for New Game Plus. I recommend seeing which kind of flavor of the run you like more, and going with that before like anything else. Or just seeing if you like the sort of fast-paced, throw yourself at everything, which is New Game Plus, or the more calculated but still speedy New Game that I just ran. So yeah, really just, you can contact me. I'm FocusSight on Twitch. More than happy to help people learn the game, but also join the X Series Discord. Get the X Legacy Collection version because it's really cheap and it's the best version to run of the game. And it's just the best version overall of X7 because of all the conveniences it adds between switching versions. Also, if you're playing this casually, please play the UK English version. Please don't be people from before 2018 playing on the harder version that they didn't even know was harder.
Separate category for US version.
There are different categories because it's the US version. No one runs it. Please no. But thank you so much for having me. Yeah. I've been FocusSight. Thank you so much, and I'm glad we got another PB on this event. So
Fantastic run, FocusSight. Congratulations on your new 3rd place worldwide on the any percent new game run of Mega Man X7. We are handing this over to, we got a couple of more things going on. We got a monkey